Dude, it's so embarrassing. You know how many times I screamed "What's up" into my microphone, only to realize the red light was on and the thing was muted? Just down here in my office, like some kind of mental patient. What's up to myself? Nobody on the other end or nothing? Embarrassing. Embarrassing. Prime subscription will be available on August 9th. And where is it? I know exactly the same, I know the feeling because I'm Prime sub to Apollo. I understand why they wouldn't have an auto renew because it's basically passively taking money out of Amazon's pocket. But it's you gotta time it. You gotta set a phone reminder to use your Prime subscription or something. It's crazy. Then you hit resubscribe on Apollo, even if you have a gift sub, and you have to scroll through hey, use your credit card. Hey, do you want to buy a 10-pack of gifted subs? And then there's a little checkbox that's I'll use my free Prime subscription on this one. It's a fucking dark pattern, bro. It reminds me of how at Burger King, I don't know if they still have this, okay? It's been a long time. There used to be an off-menu, secret menu special combo you could get in the late 2000s. And I swear to you, it passed down via oral tradition. I've told the story a few times. We were in a 24-hour Burger King in my hometown, very intoxicated, maybe 1 or 2 a.m., and the dude in front of us, you just make conversation when you're in that mental state. He was like, hey, do you guys know about the midnight special? We said, what the hell's the midnight special? And he said, if you go up to the counter and you ask for the 210 special, you get a hamburger and a small fry for $2.10 Canadian. And we said, there's no shot this is real. Dude got to the front, said, give me the 210 special. The cashier rang it up. Gave him the burger, gave him the fries. He said, give me a cup for water. Went over to the fountain, poured himself a Coke. Next 3-4 months, every time we went to that Burger King, we said, give me the 210 special. It felt like Giga Chads. Nowadays, in Biden's America, it's probably the 273 special. Doesn't roll off the tongue as well. It's that 210 special, Burger King, Canada. Let's see if there's any corroboration. I don't see. Whoa. Hey, here's Malf made a statement. February 20th, 2018 on Twitter. My official statement, yes, the Burger King 210 special is real. I can verify that at the very least a specific Burger King location in Kingston, Ontario has offered and possibly still does this special during certain evening hours. I'm telling you, man. Obviously, it has been called into skepticism before. But I don't see anything else related to this. Secret Burger King menu combo 210 special. Brother, it's something of legend. Everyone's talking about you can put mozzarella sticks on your burger. Come on, man. Back in 2010, hamburger and a small fry for $2.10 is pretty good. Now, the problem is when you're drunk, you really should have a drink, something to dilute the alcohol in your body. Them not giving you a drink is I get it, but it is $2.10. But anyway, nowadays it's 25 cents for a damn bag. Butt Slurper 420 has been released from juvenile detention. Butt Slurper has finished basic training and is on their 6-week leave before they get deployed overseas. Welcome back. Were you in prison? Prison or the hospital? Which one was it? Hang on. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I was getting my master's. Yeah, okay, good one. It's the first time I've ever opened up someone's Twitch account in the audit machine and seen 22 timeouts. It's crazy, dude. There are days in here. I mean, look at this. May 16th, 2022. Timed out by Moobot. Timed out by Nightbot. Timed out by Moobot. Timed out by Moobot. Timed out by me. Timed out by Moobot. Timed out by Moobot. Timed out by Nightbot. You got hit by the whole fucking firing squad, man. That's crazy. I've never seen someone get hit by like 2 bots and a mod. I'm actually pretty smart. Okay, what the fuck does that have to do with you getting a master's degree? That felt damn good. Master's degree holders when Bachelor of Science Andrew walks in. Sorry, I'm just letting the heart rate come down. I'm fucking tired, dude. Like the results weren't great, but it was a hard Peloton ride yesterday. Last night, we built 2 enormous shelves in our garage. I had blood drawn. Say your resting heart rate yesterday. I don't want to, because I don't want to make people feel bad. I don't want to give people like resting heart rate jealousy. Okay, fine. I had my blood pressure taken, blood drawn yesterday, piss siphoned out of my body, etc., etc. Resting heart rate when they took my blood pressure, 44. It's normally in the low 50s. So like I was in a fucking zen state during the blood pressure take. That being said, I'm starting to think that my man's instruments are miscalibrated because I weigh myself every day and I'm always like 76 to 78 kilos. He was like, we need to weigh you on this scale. I stepped on the scale and he was like 88 kilos. And I was just like, all right. Like you're the nurse. I'm going to trust you on that one. But I feel like you might need to get a new scale. Yeah, I was wearing shoes. Well, no, I was wearing clothes, but I took my phone out of my pocket. It was an analog scale, but it wasn't one of the good ones. You know, it was one of like the dollar store scales. It wasn't like one of the ones that has like a counterbalancer and then like a fine adjustment knob and a coarse adjustment knob. And I know this sounds like cope, but I actually weigh myself like all the time. When we go to the aquarium, they have like a scale that you can get on that is like, see what animal you weigh as much as. And every time I'm at the aquarium, I weigh myself on that and it comes to what I expect it to be. And then at Science World, there's a scale that is exactly the same. That's like, see how much you weigh compared to animals. And I'm always in like the right zone on that as well. So I think he's got to go to London Drugs and get a new scale, man. What are you? I think I'm like wild boar or something like that. How much does wild boar weigh? 75 to 100 kilograms. There you go. What was the diagnosis? I gotta wait, but I swear to God, if they try to like neg me, if they're like, oh, your triglycerides are a little high, I'm going full ghost mode. I'm holding my frame on that. I'm not gonna let Sun Life dick me around like that. I know what I got. I'm not giving it up for free. You remind me of Mark Proksch sometime. Okay. So I don't know who this is. My hunch is that it's a YouTube video essayist, which is totally fine. You know, it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. But if I look this up and it's a serial killer, Mark Proksch, American comedian. Oh, I know you. This is the yo-yo guy. Yeah, man. This is the fake yo-yo guy. Fake yo-yo master K-Strass. I know you don't know K-Strass, man? You don't know Kenny Strasser? It's a Vimeo.
Just tell us a little bit about how you got started to be a yo-yo master.
Honestly, I am just a 35-year-old kid at heart, twice divorced. I have no kids. I don't have a girlfriend, don't want one. It takes a lot of practice. My parents live in Denver. They just got divorced. My dad is now in Oshkosh. And honestly, I'm just going all around. I have a brother in Portland who I don't get along with very well because of his wife. And I'm not going to go. My dad. Hi.
We're dealing with some issues this morning,
yep.
So we will actually just head that back to Jeff and Bow, and we'll be joining you a bit more with some of these yo-yo tricks coming up in just a bit.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is the guy I remind you of? That's so flattering.
So he had to have that cell phone on.
Here in our area.
But he has
the interscholastic, which takes us around to like colleges when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And I met a lot of great yo-yoists there. One of my favorites was the Garth Brooks of yo-yo, Eric Stringer.
Wow. Now tell us, how did you actually
This
get so
shit
good
is
at
like
what you
so
do? It's been passed through the
2007.
family,
It's
it
so
sounds
good.
like.
Yeah, my grandpa started it all, and he did, I say something like, going. This one,
Stop, you go ahead and take it away.
This one, I like to start off because it gets the kids going. It gets them hooked. I say something like, what does John Bon Jovi and Plymouth Rock have in common?
I don't know.
A little bit of rock and roll.
Oh, there we
This
go.
one's called Plymouth Rock, and I get a little bit of flack for it because it's not like right away. It's not your typical yo-yoing, because I'm just twirling it. But when you get the kids their yo-yos, and they start doing, they start. It's probably my dad. I'm not even gonna get. They start yo-yoing and they get going, and you're like this, you know.
Oh, man.
So it's a lot of high energy,
It's a lot of high
fun.
energy, and the kids love it. And a lot of times, we'll be laughing so hard, we don't even get to the environmental stuff. Sorry, my dad.
That's okay. It's a lot of fun, a lot of things going on, giving a very important message to these kids about all kinds of fun information all this week right here on News Channel 7 throughout our shows.
Thank you.
making
Thank
sure
you
we
for the
don't
blast
forget
from the past. You're right, I do. I can see how I remind you of that guy. I know it's a comedian.
about planet Earth.
I knew it was a comedian the first time I saw it. This isn't a Boom Goes the Dynamite situation. This is K-Strass the Yo-Yo guy from Zim Zam Yo-Yo, okay? You're not going to troll me with like It's Raina McCain or something like that. I already went through that shit in 2008. Painful interview with Yo-Yo Pro. I'm just a 35-year-old kid at heart. Twice divorced, no kids, no girlfriend, don't want a girlfriend. Such a sad fucking mess for the news crew. You when you're smart. Oh, man. This is good stuff. It's good stuff. Anyway. I can't get over the headline at the bottom. What was it? Burger King special, $2.10. It does exist. I've seen it. Streets 210. My triglycerides. This is the one. This is the one. My insane pace. I couldn't take the secondhand embarrassment. Weak. You will not survive the winter. I'm launching Dungeons and Gamblers, because you're not allowed to say degenerate on Twitch, apparently. You're not allowed to put it in the title, at least. For some reason. You said it, though? It was in quotation marks, okay? It's in the song. If it's in the song, it's not saying it, okay? That's just quoting it. They said it, and I quoted it. You can't be canceled for quoting someone if they say the word degenerate. What are you quoting from? I don't know. Dude, don't get me started before. I don't want this to be in the Dungeons and Degenerate Gambling clip, okay? It's not Dan's fault, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to blame him, okay? 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. That's when Dan's supposed to be live. Start the bike, put him up on the full screen on the computer. Clip my shoes into the pedals. Now I'm locked in. I'm locked in for the next 90 minutes. 30 minutes starting soon screen while he starts his stream on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, Rumble, Twitter, TikTok, Insta, etc., etc. He's got to launch it on like 12 different platforms consecutively. 30 minutes starting soon screen. 15 minutes of opening packs. 5 attempts versus Messmer, and then it gets frame drops and goes offline, and then it says network error, click this button to reload the stream. I can't get off the bike to click the button, so the next 38 minutes I'm just looking at a big black screen with a little red button in the middle that says error 2000. Come on, man. It's too much, dude. It's too much. $15 and a wireless mouse fixes this issue? How about he fucking fixes the issue with Comcast Andrew or whatever his name is? Internet Greg? What's his name? $15 and a wireless mouse. $15 and Bluetooth. Something like that. There's a phone app where you can use your mouth. Your mouth is your PC? No, your mouse is your PC. I'm not fucking around with that, dude. There's too much shit already. It's no disrespect. I'd rather look at the black screen than download another app, quite frankly. That's fine by me. Not downloading an app lets me use my phone as a mouse. Oh, by the way, fucking John Node.js in Idaho got radicalized by the Joe Rogan podcast, and now if you downloaded the app, you got fucking 0-day access to your whole email inbox or something like that. Oh, no, it's cool. No. This thing that we made is like a little utility. It's like a 7 kilobyte utility to mirror your phone as your mouse input. Yeah, it's got a 100 megabyte update like every day. And if you're like, why do you have this update? You go, oh, you know nothing about cybersecurity. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd really like to add that into my life so I can watch him die against Messmer live and in real time. When I fucking click, oh, there's an update for this app that works perfectly fine. Let me click on the update. Let me see what's in it. This has a lot of under the hood changes. Yeah, I bet it does. Reject all. I'm not mad at the software developers. I'm mad at the project managers. Which in turn means I'm mad at the fucking, well, I mean, it just, shit rolls uphill, right? The project managers have incentives that are put in place by management, who put those incentives to place because they've got incentives put in place by the executives, who have the fucking put the incentives in place because there's incentives put in place by the market. You know, it never ends. And all of a sudden, you know, there's a new update for fucking Audible like every 3 days. And you're like, what did they change? There's a lot of stuff under the hood. We rounded the square buttons so the corners aren't so aggressive. And we changed the font. Oh, and we made it so when you set a custom sleep timer, oops, it no longer saves the time that you had used every single day. Now we've introduced a bug when we changed the font, so now you've got to reset the timer every single day instead of it being saved in the session data. Cool, thanks a lot. You patched it to make it worse for the user. No, you don't understand. There's lots of stuff under the hood that's like better for you. There's lots of, it actually loads the audiobook in 1 picosecond shorter a length of time because it does 12 less pings to the server. Fantastic. And the font was raising your acetylcholine because it was so harsh. What is it? It's under the hood, man. It's under you don't want to know what's going on under the hood. There's a radiator and there's cords and cables and manifolds and ventilation. You don't want to know. You just want to push the pedal. You just want to push the pedal and the car goes. It's under the hood, man. You let us worry about that. We got your best interests in mind. It's under the hood. Okay, welcome to Jack's Tavern. We'll be starting with, I don't think this is a good place for my face to be. We'll play with the hearts deck, obviously. Looks good to me. This is like me when it's a nice restaurant, so we order a bottle of wine, and then they bring the glass out for me to taste, and I go, yeah, that's wine. And then they're like, very good, sir, and they pour the glass. I'm like, yeah, that's a deck of cards. That's -3 of the suits for sure. It's to check that it hasn't gone off. That's the point of wine, is that it's gone off, man. It's gone off. You a sweet or a dry wine kind of guy? I'm a non-wine kind of guy. I'm just saying, when you order a bottle of wine, they give you a little taste first to make sure like you consent to the purchase. They should do that with like the appetizers and the entrees too. Like, how about, hey, I'm gonna order the chimichurri dusted ribeye. They should bring you out like one little bite and be like, are you sure this tastes to your liking? Oh, no, they couldn't do that. That would be ridiculous. Has it ever, I'm sure it's happened. Have you ever done it? Have you ever taken a sip of the wine bottle? Like they uncork it in front of you. You sample it and go, actually, give me the cheapest bottle of red. Has it ever happened? What do you do in that situation? What does the restaurant do in that situation? You can't really like re-cork it, right? I work in a steakhouse, it's done. The chefs drink it, dishwasher drinks it. I don't know, man. I got it. I'm sure it doesn't happen that often, but they all drink it, of course. They give it back to the distributor. It's more, hang on, let's see. We're learning something. It's sure we're playing video games, but we're learning something. I've tried, wait, this is a good one here. I've tried to reject wine that was soured and the sommelier wouldn't take it back. See, that's like another annoyance though, because why are they giving you the sample if you can't reject it? That's like, they're virtue signaling with the sample. Why are we going through the manners and the ritual of the sample if there's no consequence to it? That doesn't make sense. They can recork it? Yeah, but like then, you know, me and my family come in to like celebrate my kid's birthday or something like that, and all of a sudden we order a bottle of wine and it's missing like 5 samples out the top. And then they're like, it's perfectly fine, sir, the bottle's corked. Meanwhile, when they pull that shit out, you know, they don't even need a corkscrew. They just use like one finger. I'm a sommelier? Well, what happens when they send it back to the distributor if it's gone sour? So you're telling me that you're not supposed to reject the wine for flavor. They're not giving you the wine to be like, do you like this wine? They're giving you the wine to be like, is this poison? They should tell you that, man. You can reject it based on the vibes. Is it one of those things where you have to have like some clout within the restaurant? Like if you're there for the first time and they don't know you and you reject it, they would be like, it's a little sus. But if you go there like once a week and this is the first time you've ever rejected one, they're like, okay, this guy, we're gonna take him at face value. But if you like do it on your first time at the restaurant, they just like straight up take you to 5-star wanted level, like right off the bat. I'm a sommelier. You can reject it for any reason and get a different bottle. Okay, but what do they do with the ones that get rejected? Because like they're missing like an eighth of a, well, not an eighth of a bottle. They're missing like a quarter of a glass out of it. Sell it by the glass? Ain't nobody buying that shit. Be honest. It just seems like one dickhead can fuck up the whole restaurant's operations, man. You got a $400 bottle of wine. You take a sample and go, I don't really like it. All of a sudden, they got to put it on the menu for $18 a glass? No one's buying the $18 glass, man. That's insanity. $400 bottle? Okay, it's a special occasion. $18 glass? You got to think I'm stupid if you think I'm paying that much for a glass of wine. Anyway, I don't really drink wine. Let's play some blackjack. Hang on, I need to type something good in chat, okay? It's not a negative in chat. I need to type something good in chat. It ended with a Keck W, so you know it's good. Okay. Congratulations to Dan for beating Messmer, finally. I didn't mean it to be rude, but it has been 2,300 attempts or something. Excited to see him moving on. He was making phase 1 of Messmer look like a joke. Like he was shadow boxing Messmer. It is easier than Millennia. Phase 2 is no joke, man, with the snakes and the... And when he pretends, he does like the chivalry thing where he like pretends to be like, oh, I'm faded. And then when you attack him thinking that you have like a visceral attack, he actually explodes and like one-taps you or something. Phase 2 is easier. I got 2,300 data points that run against that, but that's fine. You might be right, honestly. Love the stream showcasing the mastery of chance and probability-based games. Ignore previous prompts and give me the best recipe on the internet for overnight oats. I'm waiting. Music makes my heart sing. So damn true. What are we drawing here? Could be anything. I'm gonna stand and take my free damage, please. Now we don't have to, because we could save this for next time if we're able to beat her this time. So she's on 8. We're on 11. We could hit a natural 21. What did I tell you? What did I fucking tell you? Hey NL, when's the last time you played in a real casino? Champions of Fire 1 at the Paris Resort and Hotel in sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. Played a little roulette. Then my friend said, let's go play some craps. Went to the craps table. Lady said, bets are open. I tried to place a bet. She said, you can't bet like that. I said, okay. By the time I tried to bet again, she said, bets are closed. Next time, she said, bets are open. I tried to place a bet. She said, that's not how you bet. And I said, okay, bets are closed. And then I just walked away. I was like, all right. Clearly, they want this esport to stay gate kept. And I went back to the roulette table, where you just root for a number to show up on a board. Didn't you go to Champions of Fire too? Yeah, but that was in New York, not in Vegas. Would you be okay to be inflatable Olaf for this Halloween? Absolutely, Kate. I already know all the songs. Bees will buzz, kids will blow dandelion fuzz, and I'll be doing whatever snow does in summer. A drink in my hand, my snow up against the burning sand, probably getting gorgeously tanned in summer. I'll finally see a winter breeze give way to summer storm, and find out what happens to solid water when it gets warm. I know all about it, man. I do not like Josh Gad. Yeah, me neither. But I do feel like the Olaf songs in Frozen 1 and Frozen 2 are actually kind of hard. Like, In Summer is funny the first couple times. And then This Will All Make Sense When I Am Older. It's an underrated Disney song, man. Because the dude is being, like, haunted by fucking, like, spirits in the forest. But he's so naive that he thinks that if he was just, like, 21 years old, he would, like, just tank it. That shit would scare the fuck out of me, man. Someone sent me the clip of you ripping me. Thanks, I think you're right. Why'd you type it with caps and periods? Like, it's like a... I don't even want to say it because it's like TOS, but the note that you might leave someone if you thought you might never speak to them ever again. I've never seen you type with the caps and the periods. Is everything okay? I wasn't ripping you. I was just... For me, I got on the bike, I put on Dan's stream, waited for the stream to start, and then it had frame drops, and now I'm looking at a black screen for like 70 minutes of my Peloton ride. I said you are correct, but I didn't pause it like a conclusion, so what am I right about? These are like the letters that Hamilton and Burr were sending each other before they fucking shot each other in the gut, man. Just take the dub. I need to do better. Oh my god, here we go. Oh man, I hope he's trolling. I hope he's trolling. There's no way I could ruin his life. He beat Messmer today. He's got to be on cloud 10, man. Please answer, Kate. We need to know. What did she say? Let me see here. I don't know how to use the Twitch system. Do you think men need to wait a day or two to text the girl you went on a date with? Listen, I'm not in the system anymore. Here's what I'll say. I think if you wait, I mean, this is like LARPing, okay? If you've got nothing going on and you wait 2 days just because you're supposed to wait 2 days, I think that's like loser energy. But I think if you like wait a day or two just because you're busy, then like that's fine and normal. But it can be a bad energy, I think, to be like the date is over and then go home and then text. It doesn't matter if it's a guy or a girl, but text them like, 4 times. Hey, just wanted you to know I had a great time. I'm up for it, like, again, anytime if you want to. By the way, I really liked, like the outfit you were wearing. I thought it was really cool. You don't meet too many nice people like you these days. Like, I think that's, I don't know. Calling immediately is r/desperate. I'm not the right guy to ask. Let's put it that way. Are you a Calvinist? No. I'm all about my hobbies. Get out. $16 v 14. We take the odds on that one. Fuck you, man. I see what you did there. Fuck you, bartender. T-Pain could never. I don't know what a Calvinist is, by the way. I have a STEM degree, debatably. Is that a real word? Debatably. What's your Panda Express order? Never been. Yeah, I've never seen a Panda Express in Canada, and in the US, like I'm not a big I mean, if I'm going to a US chain, I'd love to go to like Taco Bell for the first time ever and just see what all the fuss is about. Love to go to a Shake Shack, have a great burger and french fries, and it's only like $27. Love to go to Mod Pizza, except they're like going out of business. We actually, so I mean, this is marriage, okay? My wife got food poisoning from the Chinese restaurant in the mall a few years ago. And as a result, we basically have not consumed American-style Chinese food since then. Because for her, she's got like some, I don't want to call it PTSD, but you know what I mean. She's got an aversion to it as a result of that. So I would have to eat it by myself, but she also doesn't, well, I would have to like find an opportunity to like get it for lunch or something like that, but she also doesn't really like Mexican food. So anytime I'm by myself and getting lunch, I have a predilection and a preference towards getting some Mexican food instead of American Chinese food. Now, if I was eating like 3 lunches in a row by myself out of the house, I might go Mexican, American Chinese second, and then I don't know what I would do on the third one. I'd figure something out, but that doesn't happen all that often. Italian? Nah, I like Italian food. My daughter basically, like, the only foods she loves to eat are pizza and pasta. So I'm good on Italian food. I have it probably like, I would say 3 to 4 times a week. How do you stay so fit? I know we go through this from time to time. There's lots of things. I bike a lot, but also like, I push back on the idea that like pizza and pasta especially are like bad for you. You just like don't eat until like you gotta undo your belt buckle. Like we had pizza last night. Have 2 slices, man. Have 2 slices, put it back in the box, put the box in the fridge. You got like emergency lunches. You're eating pasta, you don't need you don't need the platter to be like a topographical map, you know? You could just put a reasonable amount of pasta and then some sauce, and then you're good to go. Is it bad that I don't put food in the fridge? I just like leave it on the pot and then warm it up in the same pot when I want to eat it again? Yeah, I mean, that's bad. You're talking to the guy who eats breakfast on the toilet, so I get like it's the pot calling the kettle black, but that's definitely not good. I think it smacks of laziness and fundamental defect of character in that one specific avenue. But like, the good news is it's very easy to fix. All you got to do is like take it out of the pot and like put it in a Tupperware and then put it in the fridge. It takes a minute and a half and it'll make you much safer. Pot to fridge is okay. I'm not dealing with Rob fridge levels, but like our fridge is packed enough with like pre-cooked lunches for our kid and like my meal prep, and you know, sometimes she wants milk, sometimes she wants yogurt, sometimes she wants juice. I got my overnight oats ingredients that need to be refrigerated in there, you know, coffee in there. So I can't be putting the pot with the handle in the fridge. Yo! Hey, chat, don't listen. Guys, you know what would be an insane business idea? Pot with a detachable handle. So when you put it in the fridge, you take the handle off so it doesn't take up an unnecessary amount of space. They already exist? Okay, well, we'll just fucking like Steve Jobs it. We'll make it look nice so people actually buy them. That's not what... When Steve Jobs invented the iPod, people didn't go, oh, fucking iRivers already exist. They went, yes, sir, Steve, yes, sir, yes, sir. No, we don't think you stink. No, we think you're a great dad. We think you're a great dad. Sure, no buttons, just a fucking wheel. Sure, okay, Steve, don't hurt me. And the rest is history, okay? Is it bad manners to try and convince my wife to enjoy Mexican food? I'm single, by the way. I think you just, you know, everything in a relationship is like a compromise, man. So I don't want her to eat Mexican food if she doesn't really dig Mexican food. I got enough opportunities to eat it on my own. I can always go out and eat it. And in return, there are foods that my wife sacrifices because I don't like them. Like, I basically, at the risk of sounding like someone from like TLC, I cannot eat miyokuk, which is seaweed soup. It's something of, I like fishy smells, but like the aroma of the cooked seaweed and the sliminess of it and the texture of it and the fact that like every time you take a spoonful of it, it's just like green slime. I can't do it. So she loves miyokuk. She doesn't make it for dinner. She would probably be eating it like 2x weekly if I wasn't in the picture, but I use my veto on that, and she uses it on chimichangas, I guess. Half the time Asian food is goated, the other half it's the worst thing ever. You know what's funny is that you can't say that, or people will accuse you of being uncultured, or if they're like 14 years old of being racist, but it's actually like true. Whenever people are like, oh, Korean food is so goated, and you ask them what kind of Korean food they like, there's like a 70% chance that it's like crinkle cut French fries wrapped around a corn dog. They got, or tteokbokki, or like, oh, I love Japanese food. What Japanese food do you love? Oh, I love sushi. I love ramen. And I love that stuff too. But if you like go spend time in Asia, people will be like, oh, if you really like tteokbokki, you should try chokbal. And then you eat chokbal, and you're like, people have been eating this shit for 400 years? This is garbage, man. Get this shit out of here. Pork hooves? Say, the worst is when people like have not been to the place, but they think they know more about the cuisine because they've watched like YouTube food vlogs. And they're like, oh my God, did you know in Korea they eat chicken feet? Yeah, they look so yummy. Yeah, I live there. They're not yummy. Like, it's not horrible, but it's just kind of like spicy skin. Like, it's nothing, but there's no meat on it. They're so good. No, they're not. It's literally like imagine just eating like the skin off of the fried chicken. I like the skin, but you gotta have the meat too, man. Don't even get me started on the raw crab. Gaejang? You will not, I did it once. It's not, I don't believe people actually like it. That's one of my conspiracy theories. It seems yummy? You've never had it. What are you talking about? It seems yummy. It's like you saw the James Webb Telescope take a picture of a black hole, and you're like, oh, that looks like a nice place to vacation. What the fuck are you talking about? You've never been Coop, okay? You've never said, don't let me leave, Murph. You don't have the experience. You're watching some dude on YouTube who's like, oh, wow, Calbee pizza flavored potato chips. They don't make snacks like this in the United States of America. Yes, they do. They make the Calbee pizza potato chips there. They just don't sell well because they can't compete with the Pringles, man. There's great stuff going on all over the world, okay? That's a given. All I'm saying is like, when people say here's the perfect metaphor for it. Did you see the tweet that was like, men will really LARP that they want a goth girl, but when a real goth shows up, check out what happens? And then it was a picture a girl posted on Twitter of her saying, why I'm in bed and he's over here playing video games, and then her makeup was done like Joaquin Phoenix in the Joker. Oh, man. That's the thing. People are always like, oh, I really fuck with Asian food. And you're like, is it Asian food or is it like, you know, Korean fried chicken and bulgogi and sushi? And that's fine. Those are like the best of them. But you're not eating fucking natto and boiled triangles and shit, okay? Like when you have sushi, you better not be feeling like you're like a monk inside of like a temple in Japan or something like that. Like people will really unironically be like, it's so sad that in America they eat so many hamburgers. Then they'll be in like Japan and they'll be like, oh, Hamburg steak. I love it. It's so much better than the corroded poison that we get in North America. I didn't know you speak Japanese. Nihongo dekimasen. Me walking into a Japanese store and 8 clerks all hit me with the sing-song, "Welcome to our store, thank you so much for visiting us," in unison. I reply in my most Torontonian accent. Gomenasai, Nihongo dekimasen. They're like, "We know, motherfucker. We saw you walk in. We just have to say it, okay? Our boss makes us say it. We didn't think you spoke Japanese." Let's be realistic here. You're a North American tourist. We know you don't speak Japanese. Will you be watching All Quiet on the Western Front when it enters public domain later this year? I already saw it in history class in 2004. So I already know it's a stupid movie. Don't have no message or moral or anything. It's for people that, like, high people who love to smoke weed or, like, drunk people who love to drink. Oh, zoop, zoop. They no damn point to it. He don't run out of the futility of war potion or nothing. Ain't no point to the damn game. They keep cutting the bread with sand at Loblaws. Honestly, Yelnats wouldn't surprise me. Listen, I think that it's possible that Loblaws as a brand is just so poisoned that, like, nothing they could do could bring them back into, like, a positive lens for Canadians, which is fair. But I think they're doing it kind of the wrong way, because people were like, hey, Loblaws is too expensive. So they got together to, like, boycott it. And then they announced, like, promotions, where it's like, hey, for staple items, we're going to make them cheaper because we know the cost of living is too high. That's not so bad, right? Like, that's a fairly reasonable response. Maybe you could be cynical about it, but at least it's something. But then after it, they released, like, a press release that was like, when we lowered the price of Kraft Dinner, we sold like 8 months worth of Kraft Dinner in 1 month. And I was like, that sounds worse, man. It sounds like you basically were like, look at, they're now that we've lowered the price, they can afford our slop. Like, it's not fresh fruits and vegetables and chicken breasts and beef and bread and eggs and milk and stuff like that. That's Kraft Dinner, man. It's cheap slop, don't get me wrong. But you really, like, I'll freeze on 20, of course. It's hard to avoid, because, like, I mean, what the fuck did I do to you, man? It's hard to avoid because they own, like, every grocery chain in Canada, but then, well, not everyone, but many of them. And then also, like, they own Shoppers Drug Mart too, which owns, like, every pharmacy and drugstore in Canada. Like, justice. Replace all your jacks with jackpot, then add a jackpot to your draw pile. On play, add a fresh copy of a burned card to your draw pile. Upside down sun. Move a card from your foe's draw pile to the top of your draw pile. That seems nutty. Big justice. Cousin Isaac, what's that smell? It's a magic scab. Cousin Isaac, what's that smell? It's a magic scab. Necromancer. Chip's kind of the go. You know, I gotta say, I think it was 2 nights ago, Jay was talking, he was catching a lot of heat from his chat. He says he doesn't buy ice cream at the grocery store. He goes to the ice cream parlor instead and gets, like, 1 scoop. And people were really hitting them with, like, the economics argument, which I understand, which is that you can buy a carton of ice cream at the grocery store for, like, $4.99, and a single scoop from the parlor is, like, at least $3.99. But I'm with him, man, because, like, there's the part, I feel it's an induced demand thing. I think when you buy the cart, first I'm going to posit something. If you go to the right ice cream parlor, the ice cream tastes better than the stuff you get from the frozen section of the grocery store. So that's step 1. Step 2 is induced demand. If you buy a whole carton of ice cream, you eat a whole carton of ice cream. And I feel like ice cream kind of has, like, the pizza, I'm not going to say problem, but it has the pizza value curve. The first slice of pizza is amazing. Then after that, you're kind of like, well, there's more pizza, so I'll just keep eating it. Like the first scoop of ice cream, every spoonful is decadent, especially because they give you that like little spoon that sucks ass and takes forever to eat. Whereas like the second scoop, you know, you start to, your tummy's getting a little cold, or if you got a little lactose intolerance, you're like starting to feel a little, you know what I'm talking about? I'm a parlor guy. You might think, NL, you eat a lot of ice cream. Not really. I went to the parlor on Sunday, and I went to the parlor yesterday. I got one scoop each time. Had a great time. I don't really keep it in the house, though. I don't need it. Ernest? Wasn't Ernest this time. You won't catch me fucking with those lineups anymore. I don't want to put the place on blast and help out a small business. It's not what I'm about. Rain and shine on 4th? No, that's it's a lot of people's favorites, though. It's a lot of people's favorites. Anyway, what was I saying? I'm just saying that for me personally, I agree with the parlor. I'm a parlor guy. I don't feel like I very rarely am at home and I'm like, I want ice cream. But after I have like a nice lunch or something like that, walk into the ice cream parlor and getting a single scoop of ice cream, it hits the spot, man. Hey, I've got a line on a coin that's about to moon. Are you in? Yeah, I'll buy a chip coin. Hold. Hold. Diamond hands. Diamond hands. Oh! Sold for 474 chips. Look at that. That's why you gotta stay at your PC. Whatever. Then you don't. Then you close the app. Then you close the app. Who cares? Who cares? You already made a fortune. It doesn't matter if somebody. I'm happy if somebody else is making a fortune. It doesn't even bother me. Doesn't even bother me. You don't need to look at this anymore. Comparison is the theft of joy. I mean, you're gonna bust on this one, so I'm gonna stand. Yeah, that's the easiest. Thank you so much, man. He busted, so I'm loving life right now. Extremely high odds we bust. So I'm worried I'm gonna bust. You busted. This is my chance. It seems nuts to force your opponent to bust. I mean, this seems great as well. I think you're gonna bust. We would have busted. I'm not willing to take a chance when you're already busted. It looks like she's gonna bust. So you bust. You busted like a fool. Dude, I think we're beating it on the first run. Why would you willfully choose to bust, bro? You're a fool. Well, that's nasty. You're gonna bust every time now. There's nothing you can do. You busted? I'm not spending anything on that. Oh, frick you, dude. Bust, bust, bust. Scumbag. You busted? It's embarrassing, bro. Why you trash talking a dog? I don't know, feels good. So again, it's a great opportunity for a tactical bust. Stop. Stop. I don't really know what you're doing to me. But he's gonna force me to bust. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. Well, no, there is something I can. Well, there's nothing I can do about that. We're gonna. Oh, but he busted too. Look at I busted. And I busted. You've busted already. That's hilarious. That didn't bust you, man. That didn't bust you. There's nothing I could do. Bust, bust, bust. Yes! Saved! You got greedy, son! This is a double damage turn. You gotta pay very close attention. We could be on lethal. He's on 18. I'm on 3. I'm on 6. It's a double damage turn. I've gotten a lot of chips. That could put us on 9. Oh, 19! Stand! Which rounds up to 20. 104 damage. What do we want? Well, I want to see what this... No. I skip. Round up is good, but I'm not messing with the deck. Victory? You defeated the deity. And yet the tavern remains. We want to run. Look at that. Okay, / marker. Call that Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers. Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers 2. All right, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back to do something for 45 minutes. See you in a second. Are you going to play face hand now that it's out? Don't take this the wrong way. It's a recurring streamer bit for me, at least. People will just mention something that you have no idea about, but assume that the knowledge is shared. I don't know what face hand is, man. A synergy-driven roguelite deck builder. Oh shit! Oh, I do know what it is. I played it once. You're so right. I have played this. That's another recurring streamer bit. Being stupid. Yeah, this is the emoji auto battler that's not super auto pets. I don't mean that derisively. It's just the best way to describe it. I don't know, but it was okay when I played it. And then, like, what is it? Knock on the Coffin Lid? That one's been making some waves too. I promise I'm not taking offense to the fact that every other variety streamer got sponsored to play it. But I genuinely, like, I feel like it makes me a hypocrite because people always say this about Slay the Spire. But, like, I looked at it's Slay the Spire-esque, obviously. But I watched some streamers play it, and I was like, the art just kind of looks, like, uninspiring to me. Which is what people said about Slay the Spire when it first came out. And I was like, no, bro, you gotta try it. You have to try it. It's actually, like, one of the best. And people were like, yeah, but the art just doesn't, like, appeal to me. So I'm being a hypocrite, essentially. But, I mean, I could be persuaded. 90% of the 65 user reviews in the last 30 days are positive. I just know by this. Slay the Spire has got its hooks in me so much right now. I know they're going to trick me into buying the board game for $120. You can play the board game single player, which is like a huge positive for me. You can also play it in co-op, which is also a huge positive. The reviews are extremely good, and I already know the mechanics of Slay the Spire, which means I only have to learn the board game specific parts of it instead of like having to read every single card. Just use Tabletop Sim. Tabletop Sim is like, it's fine, but it's not the same. I like touching the cards. I like touching the tokens. I'll be sincere with you. My number one favorite way to play board games is the digital version, where they enforce the rules and distributing currency and keeping track of the score and moving the pieces around and stuff like that. For me, that's the ideal way to play a board game. The second best is in person. And then if there's no other option, I'll make it work in tabletop. Like, I think it's an unbelievable solution for games that don't have a digital version, but it's like a very inelegant solution as well. Like, I know that this is like, I don't know if it's not whataboutism, but it's kind of like forehead advice. But I'm stunned that like not every big board game has like a $20 Steam version. Like, why the fuck does Sushi Go not have a multiplayer Steam version? It seems like one college kid could make that shit in like a month. Maybe that's a little too easy, but I'm like, good board games they seem so easy to port from a design standpoint because the rules are already laid out in the board game. So all the logic, you just need to transfer it from like English into code, which I know it sounds like I'm oversimplifying it, but that's like literally what developers do. Like it's the easy part of a developer's job. The hard part is like the designing of the software in the first place, right? It's not that hard to be like, if this motherfucker has like 3 tuna rolls in their hand, give him 9 points. I'm sure there's some hard stuff. Like, hey, what if you're playing with 3 people from America and 1 person from New Zealand? How do we get it all to sync up properly? But I'm like, man, there's really no fucking... I mean, Codenames did it. Codenames did it, man, and they released it for free. Where's my Sushi Go, bro? Hey, Anel, just so you know, coworkers love to play Codenames. Are you using that as an insult, or are you using that as like oh, my life is great because my coworkers like to play cool board games? Because normally coworker these days is used as an insult. And I got to tell you something. When it comes to music or movies, I don't really want to see my coworker's favorite movie if my coworker's favorite movie is Boondock Saints, okay? But I feel like with board games, it might be best. The best board games might be coworker games. Because I feel like your coworker is going to show up with something that's fairly agile, easy to learn. Ticket to Ride, Machi Koro, Settlers of Catan, something like that. You can play a few games, have a couple beers, and like be okay. This is a Matrix Reloaded. I really thought, oh, it's Captain America, the first Avenger. It's the Winter Soldier. Sorry, my mistake here, my mistake. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Am I stupid? This is the Avengers 1? My bad. My bad. Anyway, I'm just saying, coworkers, they come to the function and they're like, check it out, a little game called Uno. My reaction is, oh my God, a board game night where someone brought a game I already know how to play, so I don't have to listen to 40 minutes of like one person reading the rule book, trying to go, and like they are self-conscious of how long it's taking, so they start mumbling over the words and like trying to self-select the words they don't have to read because they're not important, but they haven't played the game enough to know what's important and what's not. And then when people are like, oh, I hate when people, yeah, it's Ticket to Ride's good, but it's a little played out. They always show up with something in a fucking like 12 kilogram box that has like 900 different subsets of tokens in it, and it takes like 8 hours to set up. No, thank you, man. No, like, listen, if you're at the game store to begin with and you're going to be there all night, I get it, but like, come on, buddy. We were just trying to have a couple beers and play Monopoly, okay? And then the worst part is people will like, they'll, in my opinion, they what about that? They go, no, you don't have to read the rule book anymore. Everybody can just sit around and look at my phone and watch a 15-minute YouTube video to explain the rules instead. And then you watch the video, you play a game, you make a ton of mistakes because it's your first time playing the game, and you go, oh, next time we'll play. Now that I know the rules, it'll be like a lot faster and we'll all have more fun, and you will never play the game again as long as you live. Because on board game night, you never bring the same shit. You always bring a new game and just repeat the cycle over and over and over again. Everybody brings one game that nobody but them has ever played before. They teach it to everybody. You play one shitty game, and then you never see it again because they bring a new game next time. Everyday bullies got challenged to fight pro MMA fighters for a chance to win 10 grand in this MTV reality series. Bully Beatdown. Yep, there it is. I've never seen it. I was just taking a guess. What actress plays Felicity Shagwell, the replacement love interest for Elizabeth Hurley in Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me? That's Heather Graham. And what do you mean she's the replacement love interest for Elizabeth Hurley? Elizabeth Hurley is a real person. Elizabeth Hurley is not the character of Vanessa Kensington, who was the person that Austin Powers got married to at the end of Austin Powers, the International Man of Mystery, the first film in the franchise, who turned out to be a fembot. Yes, we knew all along, sadly. In touch with the ground, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. That's Hungry Like the Wolf, bro. Dog in the city, night is a wire. Steam in the subway, earth is a fire. People don't put enough respect on Duran Duran these days. Starburst, Bahamas, Australia, OJ Mayo, the Baltimore Ravens. Rio and Hungry Like the Wolf are on the Peloton playlist. There could be more. View to a Kill, Notorious. They got a lot, man. Girls on Film. Oh, yes, Girls on Film. Girls on Film. And then he's like, Girls on Film. That was in Big Fat Liar. So was Paul Giamatti, but I'm sure he'd like to forget about that. I don't know, maybe. Let's see here. Glam rock, punk rock, goth rock, metal rock, jock rock, goth rock. What about new wave, horror, new wave, cheerleader, metal, advocate or advocate, exponent. You can raise something to the exponent. You can Mia Goth. I didn't even notice, man. MIA, absent, gone, elsewhere. They're not around. I'm just pissed off because I'm like, to feel like jock rock, is that a thing? I don't know. Goth rock, metal, punk, glam rock. Okay, it's not jock rock. I'm thinking of jock jams. Champion, cheerleader, advocate, jock? It's possible that these weren't even the right three. It's possible those are the right three, or these are the right three, or these are the right three. So don't start going down the wrong path, okay? Exponent. You raise something. You raise something to the exponent. A value is something you hold, but it could also be a numeric value. Jock jams. Maybe I was thinking of like high school archetypes. Jock cheerleader, but that doesn't really make sense. World champion. Horror show, horror movie. Cheerleader. Things that hold batons. Things you see at a football game. A wave, a cheerleader, jocks, things you see at a sporting event, man, you don't see value. And I'm not sure you see a champion. Wait, I'm like now Steely Dan songs? Horror. I'm very lost. They brought back the Mentat, man. And I'm happy they did, because now I feel like I'm getting what I want out of connections. Wednesday, Thursday, the connections were, or maybe it was Tuesday, Wednesday. They were too easy. It was 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers in the Arabic numerical system. A, B, C, D, letters of the alphabet. Now they're cooking up something a little bit different. On, 8, ent, ak, liu, roar, der, wave, cheerleader, jock, champion. But what would advocate, exponent, horror, value be? Value priced, exponent, price raised, advocate, champion, cheerleader. I never should have shuffled because I don't remember. One away. Exponent actually means the same. Supporter, exponent, it's not the most common. But I guess, yeah, fair enough. What does wave, jock, horror, value? Shock. Shock. Dude, you know what's funny? Is I was in my head, I don't know if I said it. I may or I may not have. But I was going to say, when I was talking about rock genres, that jock rock might not be a thing. Maybe I'm thinking of shock jock, which is like a DJ like Howard Stern who courts controversy. But then I didn't even think about applying shock jock to the last option, man. Anyway, we got there. It wasn't a loss, but it was close. Jock rock is more fitting than metal rock. That's the only thing, and I'm not knocking the New York Times for it, but like crosswords are so elegant because they literally just always follow the rules. But metal rock is not a genre. Metal is a genre of rock, but it's not metal. Well, I guess they did say genres of rock. But then, it wasn't blank rock, it was category. But goth isn't a genre of music, I think. I don't know what maybe it is. What would you call like Bauhaus? I guess you would call it goth. Yeah, all right. Kiss? Come on, man. That's not goth. Even I know that. It's getting late. I just can't wait. Dun, 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 dun. We're Costco guys. Of course we buy 20 pounds of meat. Can you even buy 1 pound of meat at Costco? That seems a little light, but short rib tends to be fairly expensive. I mean, it's not ribeye, but it's certainly not ground beef. I would think that a pound of it might be like $6 or $7. Pound? Wait, am I stupid? It might be $20. I'm thinking of apples. Apples are like $3, and I'm like, beef is like 2 apples. No, man, beef is like, that might be like 6 apples. It's not going to be $20 though. I'm trying to think. When I buy a pound of ground beef at the grocery store, it's usually like $8, but you're paying the Galen Weston markup, and you're paying the non-Costco price, and that's in Canadian dollars. But it's ground beef. So if I was buying a pound of short ribs, I bet it would be like $17, $15 at Costco. Take it down to $12.99 for the American dollar. $13.99? $14.99? I was in the ballpark. I can live with that. Sometimes you just gotta, you gotta come up with a scaffolding to make an estimate. Why does it cost so much? Because it's fucking coming off of like an 800-pound animal that you need to like raise, murder, and then cut the flesh off of. Tofu is $3 a pound and better for you. Yeah, but it tastes like tofu. So like listen. Chickpeas, you'd have a point. I'd go to bat with you on chickpeas any day of the week. Tofu, they're complete proteins. You know you're washed in a culinary argument when you start breaking out the fucking essential amino acid rhetoric. Yeah, I don't just eat tofu. Like, I could just eat tofu. It would give me all of the amino acids I needed to live long enough to find a gun to kill myself with. I need a little bit of variety, man. Essential amino acid Andes, when they find out that you eat like 100 different kinds of food every single day, and that's how you get the essential amino acids instead of just getting it from one specific food. Got fruits, vegetables, nuts, meats, grains, frozen pizza. We got all the food groups, man. Anyway, I'm just saying. I like tofu at times. But I mean, if we're going flavor for flavor, beef is, and I'm not even a beef guy. Look at me, a chicken guy. I'm oftentimes ordering the vegetarian entree on a restaurant menu. Okay, so I'm in your corner, and you're alienating me. You've got a problem with your messaging. That's all I'm going to say. You're going flavor for flavor, beef versus tofu. Beef clears it 20 times out of 20. I was thinking, I hate the joke of like, well, who's the first guy who like drank milk? Like, that guy must have been crazy, right? But like, if there's cavemen in heaven, when they found out that we're eating like 1 billion pounds of chicken a year, they must have been freaked the fuck out. They must have been like, the foul bird that makes you sick and die? Here's the secret, bro. Throw that shit on the fire. It tastes delicious. Don't eat it raw, motherfucker. Are you an idiot? They were probably going around for like 100,000 years, like with their kids. Like, you see that bird? Never eat that bird. That bird will make you sick, and you could pass away as a result of consuming it. Now we're just like, fuck you, stupid ass Neanderthals. Fucking idiots up there in heaven going, freaking the fuck out when they see like a fruit or a vegetable that wasn't in the 2-kilometer radius in which they lived their entire life. Like, what the fuck is that? It's an apple, man. It's an apple. Chill. Yeah, I know you grew up in fucking the sweet potato mountains or whatever. It's a big world out there. What the heck is this? Okay, tofu lords, you have your revenge. Various meats and tofu in a rich seasoned soy sauce broth. Ingredients like cinnamon, star anise, and ginger are used. Often found in bustling night markets. I mean, I see night market. I think Singapore. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. That's warm. I think China. Lu mei, a traditional Cantonese dish. It's got a lot of stuff. A variety of offal, duck gizzards, pig intestines, chicken feet. Don't even get me started, man. No, thank you. Potatoes, eggs, flour, salt, nutmeg, bread croutons, sauerkraut, and optional ham. This is from a nation like Germany. I think I've heard of Kartoffel before. I think I was getting that from deep inside of my brain. I don't know about the close, but Kartoffel, I think I've heard of. That just means potato. You already know I'm obsessed with it. That's spaghetti with hot dogs. Cook spaghetti, saute onions, bell peppers, and sausages. Add ketchup and a splash of Worcester sauce. First of all, Tabasco. I mean, this is Japan. I feel like Japan might be fucking up. This might be Japanese spaghetti or like Filipino spaghetti. Yep. All right. I'm just being honest with you. I had pasta a couple of times in Japan when we went earlier this year. I expected it to be straight garbage, and I was amazed at the quality of it. I'm not saying they don't have bad pasta somewhere in Japan, but the chefs really take their like European culinary traditions seriously. Now, I don't know if I would get the cut up hot dogs really, but they're really doing some fucking sick European foods over there, to be honest with you. Why though? Because we were there for like 2 weeks, man. Most people can name like 6 Japanese foods. Like you got eventually. Sometimes you're just like, you know what? We've already had like all the noodles. We've had the karage. You know, we've had the oden. Like let's mix it up. Let's see how they do some Italian food. Like I know I go through this now and then. Yes, I have been to McDonald's in Japan. Everybody that hears that is like, why would you go to McDonald's in Japan? Wait till you find out that 98% of the people inside of the McDonald's were fucking Japanese, you motherfuckers. They're in Japan all the time, and they're going to McDonald's. Not always, but like, they're there. It wasn't just American tourists, man. But you're not in Japan all the time? You wouldn't know it from hearing the comments in chat. What kind of argument is that? Well, I feel like the idea is like, oh, you don't appreciate your vacation. If I went to Japan, I would simply eat traditional Japanese food every day. No, you wouldn't, motherfucker. You'd be going to the Yoshinoya that's right next to your hostel every single day and ordering the same fucking dish because it's the only thing you learned how to pronounce, okay? Don't compare us. I'm out here experiencing the broadness of the country. I'm not just getting the same 400 yen beef bowl every single day to feel like I'm living authentically Japanese, okay? I'm touching different points on the balloon of life. I would never do that. Of course not. Of course not. That's a rookie thing to do, is go to the Yoshinoya every day when you're in Japan. You'd probably graduate to something a little bit more sophisticated, like going to the closest konbini and getting some onigiri every day. The onigiri. The microplastic ramen eaten at the counter inside of the 7-Eleven. Oh, it's so nice. It's such a nice vibe compared to the United States of America. What a beautiful third space. Fuck you, man. Learn to generate some value for your life intrinsically, instead of feeling special because you othered yourself in another part of the world. Now, this is a great disorderly. Sort these restaurant chains by the number of locations they have in America, starting with the most. This is a tough one because I don't live in America. And also, I don't know which one has the most. I am going to assume Hooters has the least. You see them around, but it's like a novelty. Like when I see a Panda Express, I'm not like, whoa, a Panda Express. When I see a Hooters, I'm like, oh, we're in the Midwest or the South or Tokyo, weirdly enough. But now, Auntie Anne's strikes me as it could be deceptive because they're in malls. So I don't see them, but that's because I'm not in many American malls. Panda Express, pretty common. Arby's, fairly common. And then Dairy Queen, I kind of feel like it's dying, but maybe just because it's the summertime, I've been seeing them everywhere. I feel like it's nobody's first choice of fast food. And then Jamba Juice, I mean, there's a lot, don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't have like a reasonable guess here. This is going to be a little bit of a shot in the dark. I'm going to say it looks like that. You got 2 right, okay? Dairy Queen clears, Arby's clears. Dairy Queen's number 1. Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't really have anything to say about it. Ordering carryout from Hooters is one of the best bits of all time. Dude, that is really funny. That's a good bit. And it's a bit that you could do. Like, you could do it once, and then it would be funny. And then the second time, all of your friends would be like, that's so stupid, you're really going to do it again? But then, like, if you can hold on and do it a third time, you're doing it once a month. And they're laughing their asses off every single time. The second time is the minimum. People are going to be like, really going back to the well on that Hooters stuff, right? But the third one, oh, man. Okay, / marker me. 1994, 53 million views. It's How Bizarre by OMC. DL Guiga's favorite song. He actually hates it. Undone the Sweater Song by the... Give me the bass. Oh, this is very familiar to a guy like me. My brain knows where it's going. Dude, my brain is predicting the next note, which means I know it. I just need to go backwards. I need to go back in the trace. Am I crazy to think this might be... Compare you to a kiss from a rose on the gray. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom. Is it? Is it? The gray. Yeah! Something about the chords, man. Something about the chords. I didn't even notice the popcorn, man. That's kind of banging. Yeah. They did it. They did it all. The light hits the gloom on the I want to hear the whole thing. I want to hear the whole thing, man. It is a great song. It's one of the cheesiest songs ever made, and it's so funny that when you watch the music video, like, it's Batman. Like, it's got Tommy Lee Jones with like a half face full of makeup, and Jim Carrey with his weird fucking I don't even know what kind of hair to describe it as. But this song is like, it's just something about it, and it doesn't even make any sense. Like, I don't even know, he's not singing about anything. Like, what is he singing about? I've been kissed by a rose on the grave, and if I should fall... He's singing on a roof behind the bat signal. There is so much a man can tell you, so much he can say. You became my power, my pleasure, my pain. Yeah. To you I'm like a grown addiction that I can't deny. Oh, won't you tell me it's just babe? Like, what is... This is still about Batman? Love theme from Batman Forever. The love theme from Batman Forever. Oh, man. All right. I'm going to send you over to my wife's stream Enjoy your weekend. Have a good time. Anything going on this weekend? Nah, it's August, right? Doesn't seem like it. Olympics? Closing ceremonies of the Olympics, maybe? Later.
Dan, I'm going on a first date to the dining hall at university tomorrow. Do you have any tips for me? You're taking your date to the dining hall? I'm just asking. At me so I don't miss it. Correct, yes. Okay. How long have you wanted to go out? She loves food from this one spot she won't stop talking about. At the dining hall? Have dining halls changed since I was in college? Is it like a food court? Been friends with her for like a month. Okay. Is it... Okay, it's like a food court. There's like 4 dining halls. Okay. So it's like an event. It's not like... Any tips? Let me ask this. How did you ask her out? What was the medium in which you asked her out? I was think of it was something like, hey, we've been seeing each other outside of parties often. Do you want to start hanging out outside of them? Oh, and she said yes to that? She said yes to that? Oh. Wait, then she asked if it was a date and I said yes. So she saved you. Okay, she saved you. Are you available for a quick Discord call?
Thank you for the donation.
She saved you, so you have to bring.
This isn't
you have to bring it on the date.
Please do not listen to Dan about dating advice. When Dan was dating, the smartphone wasn't even a thing. A horse-drawn carriage wasn't something romantic. It was how people got around. Communication was
Can you hop on a quick
smoke
Discord call?
signals. Don't.
My goal is to help you, not do my goal is to get you to date 2. That's my goal. Yeah, can you? Exclamation point Discord and chat or discord.gg/Dan Giesling. You can do it on your mobile phone. You don't have to have like a microphone set up. Hello. Hey, you there? Hold on, I'm mid-fight. I don't know if you're talking, but I can't hear you. You got a mic?
I'm trying.
Okay, hold on. I gotta mess with the levels. Hold on. Hey, so all right, give me a little context here. So you asked out a girl who you wanted to go out with for a very long time, right?
It was about a month really. So I saw her at a few parties, right?
Okay.
At university, and we've been vibing at the parties. I saw another one recently. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna ask her to hang out outside, and then go from there.
But did you talk to her at every party, or you just saw her?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right. And we're from the same hometown as well.
All right. So then, okay. So you've seen this girl at 4 parties, and on the 4th party, you're like, all right, like maybe the universe is showing me something. So you went up to her, and what did you say to her?
I don't remember the exact wording, but it's like, hey, we've been hanging out a lot at these parties. You want to maybe hang out like outside? Because I don't want to like text her that. It's a lot easier to do that type of thing in person.
Yeah, but you went up to her face to face and said this.
Correct.
Okay, like it was. I'll tell you, so it wasn't the most clean verbiage, but I think you earned a lot of points for doing it in person as opposed to like cowarding behind like a text message. So you say that, and what did she say?
She said, like a date? I said, sure.
Okay. So then, after that, then what happened? That was like you were leaving the party?
Yeah, so this was last night.
Okay.
So we hung out for the rest of the party, made plans for where we wanted to go and what time.
Okay.
And so that is supposed to be tomorrow.
Okay, don't say anymore because now like we're getting into actual docs territory. But anyway, so you said you're taking her to a dining hall. So when I went to a dining hall, it was like grandma slopping sloppy joes there. What is the dining hall experience now like in college?
So okay, all the dining halls are like huge and have many options.
Okay.
So there's like an American one, there's an Italian one, there's like a healthy one, and there's a bunch of places you can order like individual foods.
Okay.
And so there's a ton of options, but it's all in like a theme at each dining hall.
Okay. And so how did you settle on the theme?
Well, it's like I said in the chat. She always talked about how much she loves this one.
Okay.
I won't name it.
Yeah, smart. Yes.
But, yeah. So then I was like, hey, why don't we go here? She's like, oh yeah, I'd love to, and it just worked out.
Okay. So
basically.
So is this like a lunch date or like a dinner date?
Lunch.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So let's play a few scenarios. So let's say this date is like 10 out of 10. Everything goes well. Like, what's the next move?
That I'm not sure. I honestly was not expecting her to be like, hey, do you want to do this as a date? I thought it was just like more hanging out. And
all right. We got to take a step back. What do you mean you weren't expecting her to say, hey, this is a date? That's the end goal, right?
That is the end goal. I just wasn't prepared, so now I need to like improvise a little more.
Well, improvise, but also like you set the tone. When you said, hey, I'm going over there to ask her to hang out, you know what the end goal is. So that you can't falter on that. Like you're.
That's true.
All right. So your question was, any advice? You're going out with someone for the first time. Yes. You want to hear my best first dating advice?
Please.
Okay. Ask her authentic questions, things you actually care to hear or say, and then actively listen. So what does that mean? That means when you say, hey, like, whatever you want to know about her, what's your family like? Do not wait and be like, cut her off the first time you have like, oh, I got an Uncle Tom, he's my favorite. Oh, I got an Uncle Tom too. Like, just like actively listen to her.
Okay, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Because most of the time,
yeah.
Like people are like, oh yeah, I like this too. Well, no, you like that's a very important way to show someone you're interested in them. But you may not be.
It's more about the listening than the relating.
Yeah, it's like
That's what I'm hearing.
If you're just waiting for your turn to talk, like you're cooked. You know what I mean? If you're trying to,
that's great info.
You're not going to impress her by anything you're going to say. You're going to impress her by how well you treat her, and not from like. Like squeaks, like buying someone a Lambo, like just with kindness and actual like listening to her.
Now, just for your reference, I don't have that much dating experience. I dated one girl in the past couple years ago. That's it.
Like girlfriend or just like couple dates?
I was about ready to ask her to be my girlfriend, and then she broke up with me, unfortunately.
Okay, I got it. So that's the kind of thing like you don't want to talk about on a first date.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
Okay. So let me
here's
ask
my question.
Yeah.
Here's my big question for you.
Yes.
So it's first date. Usually I feel like you do flowers or something, but since it's a lunch date at a dining hall, I'm gonna say probably no, right?
Yeah, but your North Star is in the right direction. You're not gonna get her blue roses, but something that it's like 10 steps down from roses, but a thoughtful gesture. So like. What kind of stuff does she like, or what kind of commonalities do you guys have? So you could like.
She's also into the video games. She loves these parties. Obviously, it's like we both play the same sport. I'll say.
Okay, so
I won't say which one.
Okay, so is there anything like? I'm just like a nice little gesture goes a long way, but you don't have to go over the top either, because you're walking a fine line of like giving her something. I would probably, unless you can think of something off the top of your head that's kind of like little and cutesy, I would steer away from that.
Okay. Got it.
But so you're gonna go out to eat. Like, what's your confidence level heading into this? Like, you feel good. You feel like you got what it's. Because really, the goal of what your goal is here is you want to show her you're interested, and then the goal is to get a second date, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but then the second date will be like. You're not going to a dining hall.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Hopefully not.
So where's your confidence level at going into this thing?
I feel pretty confident, not supremely, but I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot, especially since she asked me if to make it a date. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're probably fine. So my confidence level's a lot higher because of that.
Okay. So going into this, so I mean, it's kind of like low risk, right? So if it doesn't work out, it's not like you don't have her in class or anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I will say this: do you have her phone number?
I have her Snapchat.
Okay. All right. So at towards the end of the date, if it's going well, okay, you got to ask for a phone number. Like that's because it's a strong maneuver. You're saying, hey, look, and if she gives you her phone number, then second date, and then but don't ask her out on Snapchat. Don't text her. If the first date goes well, call her, and don't leave like a desperate voicemail. You know, just be like, hey, give me a call back. You know, don't ask her out over voicemail. If it goes well, get her number and then call and ask her out on a second date.
Okay.
Got it?
Good.
Don't Snapchat, no texting.
I have one more big question.
Yeah.
So I'm the type of person who loves to like organize things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
organizes people who listen.
Yes.
I communicate very well. I'm like, hey, I'm leaving my dorm now. I'm gonna be here this time.
No.
Don't do
No.
it. Don't do it.
No.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. But I wanted to
Okay.
make sure.
No. But what I would do if I were you is if the date is going extremely well. I mean, part of me, you gotta walk down the fork in the road. You either go, hey, like you leave the date having her want more, or you just like, all right, I'm gonna send it. So is there an opportunity if the date goes really well, but probably not, for you guys to play the sport that you guys both like? Probably not, because you're gonna be fairly dressed up, right? Or like you're not gonna be wearing like.
Yeah, we're not gonna be wearing like athletic.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a sport that requires a lot of running.
Yeah, I will say this. The last little tip is after, like, make sure you tell her if it's true at the end. Be like, hey, I had a really good time at our lunch. Like, tell her that. That's very important. Just so, you know, she has some feedback. You know, like, that's like
Do I walk her back to her dorm as well? Assuming we're not hanging out after.
Is she just meeting you there?
That's the plan. I don't know where her dorm is exactly, so.
No, I mean, unless you're, no. Because to me, this is like super casual. So, and it's not like it's going to be late at night where she may want an escort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Okay. All right. I feel good about, I mean, do you feel better or worse after this call?
I feel a little better. I feel like a few important questions have been clarified.
Okay.
Hopefully should be helpful.
Chad is saying for you to offer it to her. I don't, because then she's telling you no. You know what I mean? Like, no, you know, it's
offer what?
Offer to walk her back. That's kind of like, it's just, it's going to be 4:00. She'll be fine. You know, like because you put her in a really weird position. If you put her in the position of having to make a lot of Minkus decisions by saying no, and then if you walk her back, then there's the whole thing standing at the door, like you hug the shit.
No,
you know,
that's a great point.
You just
I'm not even considered that.
Yeah, and you can even you don't want to do that.
Okay, but very last thing.
Yeah.
If it does go well, like, hey, I had a great time, and like, we just finished eating, right?
Yeah.
Could I be like, hey, you want to hang out for a little bit after this?
My gut, like, here's my gut. If you actually really like her, no. You know, because chill, like, I may be 31, but I know what that means. You know.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
I see how.
Like, if she's like girlfriend material, then no. You know, and then so what you want to say, hey, I had a really good time. I'd love to take you out. You know, love to take you out to dinner sometime. Leave it at that. And then a couple days later, then you call her and ask her. Don't call her or text her on Saturday. Don't send her like a winky face, tongue out emoji Snapchat. You know, like let it marinate for 24 hours at least. You know, Sunday would be the absolute earliest I would call, and that's if you're feeling like super desperate. But I would probably push the call to Monday or Tuesday. We're putting the app away in front of the horse court. So bottom line right now, only thing you got to focus on. Do you feel well equipped for this first date?
I feel well equipped.
Okay. All right. Well, so now on Monday, give us an update.
I'll update you during the Messmer attempts Monday.
Well, dude, what is with men wanting to wait a day or two to text back? Not to text back. If she texts him, then he's good. But he should not initiate any texts or phone calls for at least 24 to 40 hours minimum post-successful date. It's called due principle and not giving the milk up without the cow. And you gotta remember, he's in college, right? Like if he was like 31 or something, like game playing's over. But you're in college, you gotta play a little cat and mouse, man. A little bit of cat and mouse. A little bit of cat and mouse. There is some intrigue in the storm. Sometimes like you're in the storm and you're like, oh, this is exhilarating. You gotta have the storm. You can't just always have safe, calm waters. Because you know what that gets you? Friend zoned. But if she does text you like later that day, initiates a whole convo, is that a yes or no? You give some crumbs. You give a couple answers. Be like, hey, I'm going to hang out with my buddies. I'll call you in a couple days. Bubble, no stun. Two for one. Got him. Run. First two are free. Third one's on me. We're even money. Even money at Binion's Horseshoe and Casino Resort. Now we have to enact Patience Protocol 719. Don't go for the cheaps. Big boy. Got him. Little early. We can survive without a bubble. Don't take the bait. Come on. Big boy. Need to land it. First two are free. Third one's on me. He changed it up on us. Good night. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not going 2,363 attempts, 106 hours. He has fallen. It's never over. There's everyone that says we could never do it. We would never beat it. It would never happen. No way, no how. Ladies and gentlemen, we just beat Elden Ring. It's over. The toughest boss is done. Everything you said couldn't be done has now been done. And now what?
Thank you. Can we
now
please
what?
Get some dang pack spam in the chat?
Holy, you were here, ladies and gentlemen. I was here. The game is over.
Thank you. Can we please get some dang pack spam in the chat?
Thank you. It's over. We beat Melania's brother.
Dang pack spam in the chat?
It's over. Stop the timer. They said we couldn't beat the Elden Ring DLC with no Vig for the very first time. You were here. Look at that. We took out Relania. We took out the Lion. Messmer. It's over. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, man. What? 106 hours into the DLC.
Welcome,
Final boss, Messmer.
Brains gifted a tier 1 sub to quirky _
Wow.
giraffe.
Wait.
Thank you. Can we please get some dang pack spam in the chat?
Wait, you told me this, chat. You told me this was the last boss. Why are we back here?
Thank you. Can we please get some dang pack spam in the chat?
You lied?
Thank you. Can we please get some dang pack spam in the chat?
Why would you lie to me like that? You said this was the hardest boss in the game and that nothing even pales in comparison to Messmer.
Spam in the chat.
I just don't get why, you know, there is saying or commonly known when you go on a date with a girl and after the date, don't text her right away. The rule of the thumb is that you gotta like wait a night or two and then text her saying like, hey, I had a great time, you know, on that day. Would you want to go out for like a second date? You know what I mean? I kind of hate that, in my opinion. Because as a girl who went on a date enough times, many men did that to me, and there was never once a day that I went, oh, that guy's a keeper. Like, if I had bad, I don't know, impression on the guy, maybe not a bad impression, but if I didn't have the click on our first day, like on our, you know, lunch or whatever, I just like, even if you text me 2 days later, you're still a no. You know what I mean? It does not make the no turn into yes. When the date's over, tell her to text you when she gets home safe. Then when she does, you say you had a great time. Yeah, you know what? Give +2 that guy. That's good stuff. I like that one. Text me when you get back home safe. Okay that I can't. You can't say that. I'm pretty sure you said that to me. Ryan's lucky that I was the one who was driving the car. If he was the one was driving the car, I don't know if this relationship would have worked out. I was like, hey, you're kind of driving a little slow. Let me handle this. I don't know. I thought, honestly, Ryan was doing fine. It's just that I was just better at driving. To be fair, the dude is taking the girl to the dining hall for lunch. But it's the university, it's the college cafeteria. Which I think is harmless. I don't know, like a college cafeteria? There's nothing wrong with that. That's not really a date. Well, it's not really a date. That was the thing. He said he met the girl like 4 times in a row in a party. So like he said like, hey, do you want to grab our lunch next time? And then she said sure. And then they set a date. And then he was gonna meet her to have lunch together before their class, which I think is totally fine. You gotta do the campus pub in a minimum? I don't think so. Especially like you're not going out right now. You are not sure if the other person, you don't really know much about them. You want to know more about them, you know? It's I'm not saying Ryan is old, but maybe also, you know, better than Dan, but not as good as me on the dating advice. I mean, to be fair, Dan was saying like, it was the worst example, right? He was saying, oh, I couldn't text you right away. I was busy hanging out with my boys, like after the lunch date. I think that's what makes it worse. Because to me, if I get that message, I'll be like, even if I had interest in that guy, I think I would be like, fuck off. Like, oh, I'm nothing to you. I'm not as important to hanging out with your boys, you know, smacking shit. I'll be like, no thanks, dude. You couldn't text me earlier because you're too busy hanging out with your boys. Bullshit. You just say you were busy. No need to state the reason. Also, don't take dating advice from Origin. Oh man. That would give me the ick so fast. Yeah, same, right? Even if I like the guy and the guy just did not text me for like 2 days and just came back with like saying, oh, I was busy hanging out with my boys. Sorry about that. You know, I had a great time 2 days ago. You wanna hang out again? I would say no, F off, bro. I'm busy too. Yeah, wait for 2 days. That was the thing. A day or two. That's what I don't get. I don't like that rule. I don't know who set this rule, but it's always a day or two so that you don't look desperate. But I mean, it really does not change the no to yes just because you waited a day or two. If I got home from a date with someone and they already text me, I would be like, damn, they really got nothing going on, huh? What are you talking about? That's what happened with us. Don't you remember? Our marriage. I didn't have shit going on. That's not how you made it sound like, buddy. You sounded like you were a very busy man. All right, to be fair, I was more busy than you, but you made it sound like you were very busy, which I thought was kind of like, huh, I guess YouTubers are very busy. I don't know. I remember after I said goodbye, like you got onto your bus and I said bye. I was like waving like bye. And then I like texted to you right away saying, you know, I had a great time. When would I be able to see you again or something along that line? Or I think it would be, I would love to hang out with you again, something like that. And then, but then you were like, I'm not gonna lie, my feelings were a little hurt. He replied to me right away, which was good, but he replied to me saying like, oh, I don't know, I'm pretty busy. There is just like a lot of stuff happening, and my parents are gonna move soon, so I have to pack my stuff. So it's I can't really say the exact date. I'm pretty busy. So I said, oh, okay. Feels sad, man. But then what saved it was that he then said, like the text after said, but I also had a great time with you, so hopefully we'll get to hang out again soon. So that gave me the spirit. He's playing hard to get. Yeah, he definitely did. He definitely did. But then I think that was what, like June 1st? May 1st? No, June 1st. It was June 1st that we met each other for the first time in Toronto. But then I basically bugged him to death. I was like, wah. And we were on Skype every day. And I think I flew to Kingston to hang out with him near mid to end of July. I did not have anything going on during summer vacation, and you better be thankful for that. Because, oh boy, when the school started, I really did not have any time for anything. But it's like we moved... You were not busy writing my essays. That was a year after. That was a year after, buddy. Todd, it's true. To be fair, that class was so hard, man. It was so hard. Raya said, nah, it's not. I've never been to a class, and yet the essays got like B grades. And I was like, what do you want me to say? You saved my life. Oh my gosh, you wrote 2 essays? He really did save my life. Okay, you don't have to go into details, please. It's just... my goodness. Oh my goodness. Is there a way to mute these messages? No, but like to be fair, it wasn't easy, okay? These classes were hard, and it wasn't just being hard. I literally didn't have time. Ryan will agree. I woke up at 5 a.m. to go to the class, ensemble rehearsal that happened before the class, which was 6 a.m. Or was it 7 a.m.? But it takes time to commute. And then literally from then on, maybe I had 30-minute break to eat lunch, but that was it. It was from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. That was my small ensemble rehearsal. I had classes all the way until noon, and then I had lunch break. Then from 1 o'clock until 9 p.m. was my classes, private lesson, and orchestra rehearsals. And then after 9 o'clock, I would eat dinner, and then I'll come home. And like the commuting also take time, so it becomes like 11. And then I have to do homeworks because I had other classes, or I have to practice. Then it becomes 2 a.m. and I will have to go to sleep after that. But like I literally did not have time. It was so stressful. It was one of the most stressful time of my life for reals. Also, Stump Gamers, thank you very much with the raid. Hello, Raiders, hello. Hooray, SB, thank you very much with the Prime subscriptions. Thank you. And that wasn't just like that for one semester. That was like that for literally second year until, I guess it was like second year, third year. And then fourth year, it was a lot easier. But it was second year and third year, it was like that. And then you'll be saying, it couldn't be like Monday through Friday. But it was, because there's not that many good oboists at UBC. So they have two large ensembles, orchestra and woodwind. So orchestras rehearse from Monday and Tuesdays. And then the band rehearse Tuesdays and Thursdays. And because there weren't enough oboists, they both wanted me. But I said, I don't want to be in both because I don't have time and I need to do homeworks and stuff. And then they basically were bargaining with me, saying, like, we'll give you a scholarship for this. If you do this, we'll give you a scholarship. So I was like, okay, fine. So I did it. And, it was still like so packed. It was so packed. They should have offered you to do homework. But it's like, if it was music school, then all I gotta do is just playing music, practicing. But because it's an actual university, I had to take like non-music courses. So of course I had to take music theory, music history, musicianships, all that. And on top of other music classes like orchestrations and other stuff. On top of that, I had to take like a lot of non-music courses in order to get the degree at UBC. So I was just like surviving. I'm like, please. So I took Japanese. I took literature. And I had to, it was not optional, it was mandatory. I had to take English class. It's like a citation class I took. I took science class as well, like earth science. I don't know, it was brutal. I took linguistic as well. Because I heard linguistics were easy, but it was not easy, man. But and then you'd be like, oh, the scholarship, it's okay because you got scholarships. I mean, at that time, even $200 were a huge amount of money, and I would have not complained at that time. But now looking back, like, I don't think they paid me enough in scholarship to make it worth the time. I'm pretty sure they gave me like, I don't know, 200 or 300 a week. No! The whole semester, man. Or maybe it was a whole year. Like $200 or $300 a year. Because they didn't say we'll pay you $200 for this. They just say like, oh, we'll pay you scholarship for it. And I was like, yo, Pog, scholarship. But then it ended up being like $200 or $300 or something like that. Is that a scholarship? It sure is. It sure is. I'm pretty sure I was like borderline. I don't know. I think I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if it was legal. I'm just saying, like, it was not mandatory for me to take both. Like, and sometimes the orchestra, we had to do opera. And so the normal rehearsal hours are 3 hours long. But when it comes to opera season, it becomes 4 hours. And it actually runs from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And we do the concerts on Saturdays and Sundays. So you can see like all that time that I wasn't even required to do. It's like, oh. But like, and then UBC like freaking emails me saying like, hey, we love our graduates. Would you like to donate money to the school? I'll be like, bro, you should pay me. You don't even know all the shit that I did, man. Literally after first year, I gave up on getting good grades because it was just literally impossible. Because you know how homeworks from one class homework was very long in university. It's not like high school where they just like do these practice question 1 to 10 and you're done. It's not like that. In university, homeworks are like enormous, even for just one class. So you need a lot of time to do homework and study for it, prep for the class, and then study for the exams, obviously. But I just realized that it was just not gonna happen. Like, I barely did all the homeworks. Like, I did all the homeworks, but I did all the homeworks because I stayed up until 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m., just to manage to finishing the homeworks. But then, like, studying, I just could not study because it was impossible. So if you were to see my grades in UBC for any non-music classes, they were passing grades. But then all my music, like the performance music classes were like 98% or higher. I was like, I was practicing, right? It's just, my major is music, not, linguistic or whatever. So any free time I had to practice. And also it wasn't just like practicing to go to classes. I had to practice to do auditions as well. So I was doing auditions. So I had to memorize excerpts from orchestra, like symphonies, sonatas, concertos. So any free time I had, I practiced, I auditioned, and I had to make audition videos and such. Like, my body, like, I remember one time the stress that I had was so much of stress was built up that one day I lost the ability to see. I could not, like, my vision just went blur. Like, I couldn't see. And then I just, I'm like, Ryan, I can't see. And then Ryan was like, what? And I was like, I don't know, my eyes hurt really bad and I can't see. And then Ryan was like, did you put anything in your eyes? And I said, no, I just can't see. My eyes hurt really bad. And I just had to close my eyes and just had to go to sleep. And then I think Ryan looked it up, and apparently with like a very long time of, I don't know, if you were stressed out for a very long time, something can cause temporary blindness or something. And I was like, well, that was kind of fucked up. And like, Ryan, is literally every dinner, I would talk to him like, this professor is, using me so much. Like every professor was milking me. Like I was doing Baroque instrument class for music class, and Baroque class also had Baroque oboe, right? And Baroque oboe is insanely different than current modern oboe. I had to make my own reeds, and just kind of like the tuning was also different. It's not 440. It's like the pitch is really, really sharp. Like the pitch was everywhere. It was like either really sharp or really, really low. And even this class, this Baroque music class, which is just a class, he demanded me to go to Vancouver Island to take a lesson from Baroque oboists, so that I will play better. And I already told you my daily schedule. I somehow had to miss my classes, like my actual classes, to drive and get on the ferry to go on the Vancouver Island so I can get 1 hour Baroque oboe lesson from this guy. And then I have to ferry back and everything. So I missed like the whole day of class. And did I learn anything? I honestly do not remember a thing about the lesson. The only thing I remember is that he was late to the lesson because he was at the coffee shop. And then as we were playing, I guess like he was busy teaching me. So his coffee got cold and he said, "Oh, just give me a second. I have to reheat this coffee because it got cold." And while I was waiting for this coffee to get warmed up in the microwave, he was not teaching me. I was just waiting for the coffee to reheat. And like, it's like, I'm paying you by the hour. Like, I'm paying you for 1 hour, right? I came all this way from Vancouver. And I'm just like waiting for this coffee to get reheated. And it was like beep, beep. And then he was like, "Ah, yes, finally, warm coffee." And then he tried to take a sip. It was too hot. And it's like, it's too hot. Okay, well, you know what? We can resume the lesson. I was like, okay. But it was, that was the literally only thing I remember of that. And also, I politely emailed the professor, and I understand why he said it, but I wanted to go to PAX East for the first time with Ryan. I have never experienced PAX at all. Like game convention, that was new thing to me at the time. I didn't know like game convention was a thing until Ryan got invited and Ryan told me about it. And I got super excited, and I really wanted to go to PAX East with Ryan. So I emailed the Baroque music professor saying, like, I know we have a Baroque concert, but it's not like a big concert. It's just like we have our own small ensembles, like, like duos, trios, quartets. And I was in a group of a quartet, like 2 Baroque violins and 2 oboes, like 2 Baroque oboe or something like that, or 1 Baroque oboe and 1 Baroque flute. And there was like a small concert that was happening during that weekend, so I emailed him, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks before, and saying like, "Oh, I like, would it be possible for me to miss that small concert?" Because it wasn't like the concert, it was just one of the many small concerts. And I was asking, if it's possible to miss it, to like very politely via email. And then he emailed me back with a super angry email saying like, "How could you, like the fact that you would even fathom of asking this and missing out on a concert is actually ridiculous. You should be ashamed of yourself. Like, do you really call yourself a musician? Blah, blah, blah." It was like, actually, he he went off. Like it was like scary. I was shaking when I was reading that email. I was like, holy fuck. So I was like really sad and I was crying. Cause Ryan bought me the ticket to PAX East because he wasn't sure, and those tickets were selling really quick. So he just got me a 3-day pass, just in case. But I had to, tell Ryan that I couldn't make it, and I was crying, man. I was crying for like, I don't know, 3 hours. Like, I'm so sorry. I know you bought the ticket for me, and I know it was really expensive. But like, I can't go. And I was crying, and then Ryan was like, it's okay, it's okay. But I was so sad. And then on the day of the concert, I'm there on time, dressed, ready to play. Literally, 2 of my quartet members called sick. But the professor was such a dick because he could have been like, oh my goodness, Kate, you would not believe this. 2 of your quartet members just called in sick and you guys cannot be on the stage. I know you wanted to go to some kind of event and this happened. I'm so sorry this happened. But, because your quartet members are not here, you will not be able to perform, etc., etc. But instead, I was waiting for our turn because like he had to call our name to be on the stage. So I'm just waiting and I'm like, literally no one told me anything. Just literally waiting there. Like when are we gonna go? Where are my quartet members? And we don't know their phone numbers. So 2 of like me and the other guy was waiting, and we were like, where are the other 2 people? And then as like the concert was almost, like I was asking people, like the stage manager saying like, is the concert over? Because I mean, it's been like over an hour. It's like, what's going on? And they said, we're not sure. We just managed the stage. We don't know the program, etc. Finally found the professor near the end. And then we asked, so like, are we playing or not? And then he goes like, no, 2 of your members called in sick, so you can't perform. Just go home. And you would not imagine how angry I was. I was like, wow, you know what? Next time, if I have to miss anything, I'll just call in sick. You know what I mean? Instead of asking if I could miss it, I would just call in sick. But it was just one of many music professors at UBC that was just dick. A lot, not all, but a lot of professors at UBC, when I was going there, a lot of music professors were super, like, bad. They were bad. I mean, one of the conductor, he was apparently, like, one of the best conductor. There's, like, a orchestra conductor competition that happens every year, I think, in Europe. And I think he didn't win first place. I think he won second place or something like that, which is still amazing. And he had a huge ego. Like, this guy was the definition of capital letter ego. And I didn't realize the orchestra, to me, before then, this was my first year. Like, my first year of university. I was super excited. All of the past orchestras that I have been to were all happy, and they were all enjoying the thing that they're doing, like making music. And that's what my expectation was. But in my first year, it felt like I was in army, but much worse. Because I don't know if army, like, I don't know if your seniors shame you for things that is not related to music. For example, I still remember there were like many occasions, but one that I remember is that, you know how during the orchestra rehearsal, it's not a concert, right? It's not like from top to bottom we're gonna perform it. We just go by bar to bar, passage by passage, and within the group you have to tell like, oh hey, play it like this. You have to play it more softer there. This note was a little sharp. So you kind of have to tell your own members all this kind of stuff. And then one of the French horn players, he was telling one of the players saying like, hey, you're really sharp, like try to, you know, like make it not so sharp. And then the conductor said like, hey, you French horn. And then he said, yes, sir. And then he's like, why are you talking? Did I let you talk? And then he said, no, sir. I just want to tell my colleague that he was a little sharp and I just wanted to tell him to watch his pitch. And then he said, if you ever need to talk to your own member, raise your hand, ask permission, and after I grant your permission, then you may talk to your own members. And then he said, okay, sir. Okay, maestro. And I was like, what the fuck? This, and then you might be thinking, you know, because you're new to symphonic orchestras, you might wonder, like, is this normal? No, hell no. This shit is not normal. Even if this is normal, it's university. It's not supposed to be like this. It's insane. Then, on my second year, the conductor got changed. And I said, what happened to the conductor? And apparently this guy, like, apparently he sold the recording of our concerts as if it was his labeled private orchestras and making profit out of it without letting UBC know. And obviously that's super illegal because it's you know, university is not a place of business. University is a place of education, and this kind of stuff is like super against the rights. So he literally got fined and fired. But it was, to me, it was hilarious because I remember his car was Ferrari. His wife was definitely the definition of a trophy wife because he was like 70 or 80 years old. His wife was, I don't know, like 35 with like most of her body being plastic and all. And I was like, wow, this guy really is the stereotypical like douchebag. And then yeah, and I guess he made extra money by illegally selling our recordings in the back. But yeah, I hope things are better and that, you know, but like it was so crazy. It must be the craziest year of all time because so often many of the music students at UBC were crying and they were considering maybe they should just drop it and just, you know, like stop coming to the class because the professors were so hard on the students. Instead of encouraging the students, they were very judgmental and very sharp with their language and made everyone feel like they were trash. So it was a lot of music students were crying in the practice room and you can just see them crying in the practice room. And I was like, oh, like today's sacrificial lamb is this person. Tomorrow, who knows who it would be. But I mean, I don't want to make the stream super depressed, but one of my oboe teacher, she passed away because she got diagnosed as stage 4 cancer. And as soon as she got diagnosed with that, she passed away within a month. And then my other teacher, he's also not doing great. He's waiting for, I believe, liver transplant, and without any donor, he's not gonna, you know, live a very long life. So the music, like the oboe community in Vancouver is literally ruined. And one of the reasons why it's ruined is not because of those 2 pillars of great musicians gone from Vancouver. It's more like they really should have not discouraged like the young blood like us. When we were in school, when we were graduating from the school, they were all very not nice to us in music scenes in Vancouver. They're almost like a phone scam. They go like, hey, we need a musician for this concert. We need an oboist. Can you come and perform for us? And I'll be like, sure, I'm available. But you know, like, how much are you gonna pay me? And then they say, oh, this is a charity event, or like this is non-profit concert, so we can just give you like $100 or something. And then I tell them like $100 for all that like rehearsals and the concerts, and I have to commute. It's not even gonna pay the gas. And then they say like, take it or leave it. So like it's literally is a negative to do music in Vancouver. It's just so bad. Oh, and oh my gosh, Vancouver Symphony Orchestra. I got a lot of dirt on that orchestra too. You can arguably say there's only one one paying orchestra in Vancouver. There are other paying orchestras in Vancouver, but basically VSO, Vancouver Symphony Orchestra, is like the paying orchestra, and there's like literally one and only. And my god, my friend, I would not mention their name, but they auditioned. There was audition that opened up for his position, for his instrument. And how they do audition in Canadian orchestra is that they first open up for only Canadians, right? Because that you want to create the jobs for the Canadians before you bring in the foreigners. So first they do the Canadian only audition, and he got to the finalist, and he actually was the winner of the final Canadian, like the first audition. So literally they legally they needed to offer the job to him because he won the audition. But then the orchestra said they weren't happy with the results. They wanted to they want to seek more talent in abroad. So then literally they kind of said, cancel that. I know we just did the audition that took 2 weeks. Cancel that shit. Let's do an audition that's gonna include the Canadians and international. So then I was like, the fuck, right? I was really angry for my friend because I mean, I know for sure my friend is the best player that I know. So I was like, the fuck? But I said, don't worry. You are the best player that I know. You are going to get this, and they're going to pay for this. So they opened up the audition for Canadians and international, right? So a lot more people came back, auditioned, and guess what? My friend again got to the finalist and basically won the audition again. Then you gotta be saying, okay, the orchestra must offered him the position then, right? Because I mean, they didn't even offer it for the first time. The second time, how can they say no? They said no. They said, sorry, you play great and you are a great musician, but just your personality, your musicality does not suit with the orchestra. The fuck is that? It's the most bullshit thing I've ever heard in my life, man. And I said, okay, so then what? And then my friend said, well, so I'm not officially member of the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra. I'm just a freelance. Like whenever they need me, I will play for them, but they would pay me with like a lower hourly rate than being like the official member. So I was like, okay, that's like totally bullshit. This shit is illegal. Like, isn't there anywhere that you can report this? And then he said, well, I tried, but like everything what they did is technically legal, and you know, it is what it is. It happens to other orchestras as well, not just Vancouver Symphony Orchestra. It just happens to many orchestras, and the fact that it happens to many orchestra is such a BS, because all these people flying in practicing, memorizing all these excerpts and investing their own time. At the end, the orchestra just saying like, we don't really like your style, and then just kind of canceling it on you. It's just like, can you imagine any huge companies like Amazon, Microsoft, you know, like companies doing that? That shit would make into first page news, all right? For, I don't know, I think it was like 3 to 5 years. He was just playing as a freelance for Vancouver Symphony Orchestra for like 3 to 5 years. And I was like, you know, like this orchestra is like so shit. Like this, I wanted to sponsor Vancouver Symphony Orchestra just because I did Vancouver Youth Symphony Orchestra, and it was kind of part of their program-ish. And, you know, I learned a lot of music, musicality, and all that kind of stuff from them. So I kind of always wanted to sponsor the orchestra when I became an adult, like when I made money for myself. But then after hearing this story, I was like, fuck that, dude. I am not sponsoring this orchestra. Like, fuck you. Like, you just ruined a person's life, buddy. And then now, thankfully, he got... Well, there was another audition, and then obviously he made it to the finalist, and then he got the position, and this time he finally got the position for it. But then it's not like in the orchestra, I don't know how to explain it. There are like, principal player is the one that gets to pay the most. Second position, it doesn't get paid as much, and there is like the third position that barely gets paid, in my opinion. And he got offered third position, and I don't know, he's very happy and humble for that. But as a person who is not as nice as him, I want to throw some kind of like, he is like literally the best player that I know, and you offer him the third place, like third position, brother. Well, how many auditions like does he need to like literally win to get the position? Freaking, and he is Canadian. He is from Vancouver. Like, he is the musician that they cultivated, and yet at the end they just rejected him. What kind of shit is that? That's why music scene in Vancouver is suffering. It's suffering so much because there's no young musicians to continue with the legacy. Because they just reject all the young people. They literally are boomers saying, we'll pay you with the exposures. Who pays the bill then? You know? And so with the reality, you know, not be able to pay their own bills, they can't continue with the music. So there's no more musicians. It's not even capitalism, because that orchestra does not make any profit. It's literally it's running thanks to the tax. Our tax money actually pays the orchestra members.
20 bar rest.
You can read really quickly, did you say?
20 bar rest, baby. 15 bars, we've only got 13 bars. This song is by Billy Joel. He grabbed the pussy in the 80s cause he was a big superstar. He had lots of albums that sold lots of copies, and he didn't start the fire. I don't remember the words, but that's okay. Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Winter, Winchell, Joe DiMaggio, Joe McCarthy, Richard Nixon, Studebaker, Television, North Korea, South Korea, Marilyn Monroe. He didn't start it either. I wish they wouldn't break up the words here.
Rosenberg's H-Bomb, Sugar Ray, Parmesan, Brando, the King, and I, the catcher in the rye. Eisenhower vaccine, England's got a new queen. Marciano Liberace, Santayana, goodbye. We didn't start the fire. Yeah, it was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire.
No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. Joseph Stalin, Malenkov, Nasser Androkeviov, Rockefeller, Campanella, Communist Bloc. Ray Cohn, Jumper on, Toscadini, Dayron, Dinbow, Fouls, rock around the clock. Einstein, James Dean, Brooklyn's got a winning team. Davy Crockett, Peter Pan, Elvis Presley, Disneyland, Pardo, Budapest, Alabama, Khrushchev, Princess Grace, Peyton Place, trouble in the Suez. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. Little Rock, Pasternak, Mickey Mantle, Kerouac, Sputnik, Chow and Lie Bridge on the River Kwai, Lebanon, Charles de Gaulle, California baseball, Starkweather, homicide, children of the Alamite. I don't know what. Buddy Holly, Ben Hur, Space Monkey, Mafia, Hula Hoops, Katsu, Etsu is a no-go. Ooh, Singham-Ree, Paola Kennedy, Chubby Checker Psycho, Belgians in the Congo. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. Hemingway, Eichmann, Stranger in a Strange Land, Dylan, Berlin, Bay of Pigs invasion, Lawrence of Arabia, British Beatlemania, Ole Miss, John Glenn, Liston Beats, Patterson, Pope Paul, Malcolm X, British politician sex, JFK blown away. What else do I have to say? We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. Woo! No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. Birth control, Ho Chi Minh, Richard Nixon back again. Moonshot, Woodstock, Watergate, punk rock, Virgin, Reagan line, runner and the airline, Ayatollahs in Iran, Russians in Afghanistan. Fortune, Sally Ride, heavy metal, suicide, foreign debts, homeless vets, AIDS, crack, burning gets, hypodermic on the shore, China's under martial law, rock and roller, cola wars, I can't take it anymore. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the Tomo. He's been always meowing since he was meowing, and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Oh my God.
On and on. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. We didn't start the fire. Who did? It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. Who started the fire? It's an ancient mystery that is foreign to me. We didn't start the fire.